This video is brought to you by Dr. Kristen R. Bromley's Guitar Method Book Series and Online Music Academy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Kristen Bromley. Welcome to my online academy. It is so great to have you joining me here in these online lessons. This is lesson 18 in this Saturday series where we're working on jamming or improvising in the pop, rock, and blues styles. I love doing this sort of thing. It's so fun. I am just thrilled to bring this course to you along with all the other lessons on the channel. Now, in this lesson specifically, we're going to be working on the fourth form of the major pentatonic scale. I've got a new jam track that we'll work on improvising with that over the top of, and we'll also take a look at how we could use other scales that we've already worked on, other scale forms of that major pentatonic, how we could also apply those to this jam track and key. So let's just go ahead and get started here. Now, we have worked quite a bit with the minor pentatonic scale. We worked on all 5 forms of the minor pentatonic scale. And we've worked through some of these forms of the major pentatonic scale. We've learned how every minor pentatonic scale actually has a major pentatonic with the same notes. They're relatives of one another. So the same 5 scale forms that we use to play the minor pentatonic scales, we can actually use to play the major pentatonic scales, but the root placement, the root note changes, and that changes the feel, that changes the sound of the actual scale form from making it into from the minor scale into that major scale. So I've got scale form 4 up here on the right side of the board. Now, how do we get here? Well, we learned scale form 1. We worked on this one both with the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic quite extensively early on in the course. Then we started working on these other ones. We learned how we could take that form and move everything 1 string higher. And by moving everything 1 string higher, we got form 2, and then moving everything another string higher, we got scale form 3, and now here we are with everything moved again with scale form 4. There's a couple different places we'll start that root with our hands, and one is with the middle finger, which scale form 3 used and now scale form 4 uses as the lowest root. So we can start with that middle finger there. The other option is with the pinky or the ring finger, which is where scale form 1 and 2 started off with the lowest notes. So that's kind of switching here. So scale form, by comparison to scale form 1, where this root is, it's now moved up 4 strings higher, but we had that lower root, and compared to scale form 3, we're just one string higher there. So we're going to take a look at this because we're going to be jamming in the key of D here in this lesson. I'll go over the chord progression in a moment. Because we're going to be in the key of D, we'll work this in the key of D. So with this lowest root in the key of D, that's going to be at the 5th fret on that 5th string. That's where our lowest root, which has that square around it, is going to be. We got all the dots there for the notes of the major pentatonic scale. We've also learned about how we can add an extra note to create that major blues scale, which correlates with the blues scale that comes out of the minor pentatonic, where we add an extra note to it. With the minor pentatonic, that additional note ends up becoming a sharp 4 or flat 5. Here, with the major pentatonic, just sort of in review, it becomes a flatted 3rd. And so we've got those indicated with the asterisks, and also just because with this form, like I talked about in the last lesson, sometimes it's nice to approach this 3rd from the flatted 3rd below it. So the little asterisks there in parentheses saying we don't have to play it here, we can actually play it there. But when we're overlapping with our minor pentatonic forms, we usually tend to play it here. So we're just going to work on the major pentatonic though. Couple things we can do. When we have these positions like this, I'm going to start with my middle finger, and then I can play with a pinky. So I'm going to go 2, 4. If my fingers are numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'm going to go 2, 4. I could alternatively play 1, 3, and then shift down for the next string, but I'm just going to demonstrate it with 2, 4 here. So in playing this pentatonic, D major, we'd have 2, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, and then we come back down the same way. And then I can go down 4, 2, and come back to that low root. So I could alternatively slide up and go 1, 3 in those places if I didn't want to do 2, 4, 1, 3 on the top 2 strings as well. So that would be a way to do it differently. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and play through it without talking. You just want to take that scale form and get comfortable with playing it, kind of get familiar with where those notes are. If you want to add in that extra blues note, I would shift up and have my index finger on this root note and go 1, 3, 4, shift down. And then I got 2, 3, 4, or if I was in the alternate positioning, I could have 1, 3, 4 if I had shifted up. So if I play that all the way through without talking, we'd have... In demonstrating that, I did use the 1, 3 fingerings up on top, just so I demonstrate that differently than how I did the major pentatonic with middle and pinky. So you've got both of those there. Now, and as I mentioned, you could approach that third from below, so that kind of thing. You can do that there. So we have that scale form. You want to play through it and get familiar with it, and we're just going to go ahead and jam. When I was starting to work on this sort of thing, I found it helpful just to get the scale form down and then start trying to create melodies with it. And over time, creating those melodies became more and more natural. I also found it helpful to play along with recordings that were in the key I was working on and just other people. So playing along with me will hopefully be helpful to you as we jam together over the backing track. Now this particular progression has this D, G, D, A7 sus, and then D, G, A7 sus, D. And it's going to do that twice, then it goes to a different progression here with 2 times on G, 2 times on D, 2 times and A7 sus twice, and then back to D. And that happens twice. So you get both halves happening twice, and that's the complete chord progression. So we're just going to jam over the top of this together in the key of D. As I get started, I'm going to play all the way through that chord progression here, and then I'm going to start playing with some of these other forms. So it can be great as you're working on these forms just to work each one of them in this key over this new track, getting comfortable, and then try going between forms, moving from one to the next, which is kind of where we're working on gaining sort of fluidity with the entire fretboard. So you can work those like that, just individually, and then try putting them together. So as I'm jamming over the track, I'll play one time exclusively here, and then as I'm going through that chord progression on the next time, I'm going to use these other forms as well. So scale form 1, in this key, I put that pinky there on that 10th fret, and I could play scale form 1. Of course, you could do the blues scale as well. All of these should be a review, so I'm not going to go into great detail with them. Scale form 2, I'd put that D note is at the 5th fret, so my pinky at the 5th fret. And scale form 3, the pinky is going to be up at the 12th fret on that 4th string, or my low middle finger would be at the 10th fret, so either way. Play it high or start low. So we've got those options there, and we can jam over those. Check out previous lessons if you haven't, if you want help mastering those. So I'm going to go ahead and play over this backing track. Now the track is available as its own video for you to play over as much as you'd like to. There is a link in the description below. But here, we're going to go ahead and jam over it together so you can get some ideas from me and just sort of play along with me, get some things happen in that way. So you've got it both. You've got where you can jam with me here, and then you've got that video link in the description below. You can play along with it as much as you'd like to. So we'll hear 3 hits on the hi-hat, and then beat 4 is sort of a rest, and then we'll be in just jamming on this track. Let's do it. Okay, great. Hopefully that is super fun for you. If you're getting frustrated, just keep working the scale. Just keep playing with it. As you become more familiar with it, it gets easier and easier and more fun. So it's super great. Now in the next lesson, which will come out next Saturday, we're going to work on the fifth form of the major pentatonic scale. And we'll have a new jam track, new key that we're working in. So that'll be great. Of course, there's the other lessons on the channel, lessons coming out each week, like 3 Thursday lessons. We're working on different scales, but there's over 1,000 videos on the channel, so lots of great ways to get help with playing various aspects of the guitar. There's also the method books. Got the new theory and technique book coming out very soon. Has lots and lots of great things, so those are great ways to get help with playing the guitar as well. So keep having fun, take care, and we'll see you again.
If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. For more in-depth lessons and to progress through a free guitar course, check out my Guitar 101 series on YouTube and my guitar method books, which all come with access to hours of in-depth video lessons. You can find more information about me and my products at KristenBromley.com. Take care.